Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Now at 6, a crash leaves a box truck burned up and on its side, and part of I-95 closed in Cumberland County. This is a live look at the scene. Nick Perlin will have a live report and will tell you how you can get around the mess.
And ahead of a cold front, our temperatures are warmer this morning, but I'll show you why it will actually be cooler later this afternoon. Coming up.
Plus, with a dozen days left now until Election Day, both vice presidential candidates are making their cases in North Carolina to voters here. As Governor Tim Walz wakes up in the Triangle, Senator J.D. Vance prepares for his trip tomorrow, where they will make stops during their visits.
And today you can enjoy the state fair and give back to people hit hard by Helene in western North Carolina. How you can save money for your family while helping others at the same time. Do some good and have a good time at the fair for Hunger Relief Day. Hello, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. A lot to tell you about. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making this part of your routine here. We met a lot of folks out at the fair yesterday with Elizabeth who make regular watching part of their routine. It's good fun.
Aren't they just as nice in person as they are on TV? I'm sure you enjoyed talking with them. We all enjoyed meeting you, by the way.
They were saying good morning to us, which is just a little different because we say good morning to them every morning, right, Elizabeth?
Yes, and it was so nice to have a completely fabulous day at the state fair, but I think we're going to have a completely fabulous run of the state fair. We're going to talk about what happens between now and the weekend coming up, but let's get you started this morning. It's nice and clear and warmer than yesterday. 56 degrees is our temperature. Our dew point is up just a little bit. We have the potential for some patchy fog out there. I haven't seen any of it developing yet. Look at these temperatures. 61 South Hill, 61 in Southern Pines. Earlier in the week, we started off in the 30s and 40s, and we're in the 50s and 60s this morning. We take a look at the difference in temperature, anywhere from 5 to about 15 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. Beautiful at the fair. It's warmer this morning, but nice and comfortable this afternoon with temperatures in the mid-70s. We're going to see a roller coaster ride of temperatures over the weekend. I'll show you why coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that breaking news in the Hope Mill section of Cumberland County this morning. A crash shutting down part of I-95 in the northbound lanes near exit 4, not far from Business 95. Let's get to WRAL Nick Perlin in the WRAL breaking news tracker. Nick, you've been on the scene there for like a half hour or so. What are you seeing? Set the scene for us.
Well, Ken, let me just get right out of the way right now and take a look at this. This is that box truck here on I-95 that was flipped over onto its side and burnt up. We take a look at all the damage. The entire side of that box truck is completely destroyed, and because of that, one lane now is still closed as crews work to remove this box truck. At one point, we do know the entire northbound lane here on I-95 was completely closed down. They do now have that one lane open. You can see as traffic kind of creeps by here. Now, they do have that truck, as you can see here, back up now, and they're working on getting it towed away, so they're hoping to clear this soon. But Ken, what else are you seeing on the map regarding this crash?
Yeah, it's a situation there that could be that way for the next hour or two. We'll keep you posted. But of course, as a detour, you want to get off on exit 40, which will put you onto Highway 59, and that'll get you onto Business 95, and you can work your way back to I-95 North, and we'll keep you posted on that. But back here in Wake County, this crash right here in I-40 eastbound near Rock Quarry Road, causing a bit of a slowdown on I-40 in those eastbound lanes. You can see the eastbound lanes moving away from us. So if you're heading to Garner this morning, Johnston County, maybe the coast, you're trying to get an early start, I would recommend Highway 70 as an alternate route to avoid what you're seeing there in those eastbound lanes of I-40 moving away from us this morning. Elsewhere, we're not seeing any other major issues to report, but you're getting ready to leave the house. Tune us in on the radio at 101.5 HD3. You also have a couple more options, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Ken, thanks. North Carolina lawmakers will be back here today in the legislative building where you're looking live right now. They're expected to debate a second relief bill for the western counties in our state ravaged by Helene. Sessions in the Republican-led House and Senate come a day after Democratic Governor Roy Cooper revealed a nearly $4 billion proposal. It includes money for home construction, food banks, business loans, and more. Lawmakers are expected to present their own relief plan, which may or may not take into account what the governor is proposing. For developments on this throughout the day, go to the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
This is really the feel-good double dip of the day. You can help people in Western North Carolina and get into the state fair for free all at once. It is Hunger Relief Day. This year, all the food donations collected will support victims of Helene. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the fairgrounds right now. Kelsey, such a great way for families to not only save money, but for such a good reason.
Jeff, I like the way that you put it, the feel-good double dip of the day. So if you and your family come to the state fair today, you can just walk through any one of these gates and bring 6 canned goods or 6 non-perishable food items, and you'll have free entry. So we'll show you video from last year's Hunger Relief Day. This year's initiative is a little different. All of the items collected will go towards helping people who are in need after Helene. The Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina has over 600 volunteers every year to collect food at the state fair. This is one of the largest single-day food drives in our state. This is a list of items they're encouraging people to bring this year. Large jars of peanut butter and jelly, chicken, tuna or salmon in pouches or cans, dried or canned fruit, crackers and granola bars. They're also requesting ravioli and any other ready-to-eat meals. So if you want more information about how to donate, just go to our website, WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Also this morning, we were working to learn the condition of a child who was rushed to the hospital after nearly drowning in Wake County. Wake County EMS say they responded to a home on Stableford Lane in Fuquay-Varina last night for a possible drowning. They say that child was taken to the hospital.
Tim Walz will make several campaign stops in North Carolina today. The Democratic vice presidential hopeful is waking up in the Triangle this morning after arriving at RDU last night. Today, Walz will make stops at Duke in Durham, then head over to Greenville and Wilmington.
Former President Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, is making a stop in the state tomorrow. He'll hold a rally in Hoke County at Defender Ammunition in Rayford. Then he'll travel to Monroe in the Charlotte area for a town hall.
Vice President Kamala Harris says she considers former President Trump a fascist. She said those words during a CNN town hall last night in the Philly area. It comes after Tuesday's reporting that former Trump chief of staff John Kelly said that Trump, quote, fit the general description of a fascist. The former president posted on Truth Social calling Kelly a lowlife. Trump also had a rally in Georgia last night, and we're now going to hear how both campaigns tackled important issues to voters, including inflation.
Companies are taking advantage of the desperation and the need of the American people.
We are going to bring energy down by 50%. That is going to bring everything else down.
We heard from Harris first because her town hall was more recent than Trump's. Trump will campaign in Arizona today. Harris will be in Georgia.
This election will be the first time a lot of college students in the Triangle will be able to vote. New voter ID requirements could make registration more difficult for out-of-state students and those who move often. Obstacles like out-of-state IDs, not having a car, or lack of voting experience all make it hard for some students to vote. Questions about eligibility may cause many students to get provisional ballots, which also have a high rejection rate. Durham Nonpartisan Group is trying to help by offering free rides to the polls and student ID offices.
When you make it easy to vote, we find that many more students vote because you eliminate those barriers.
And they encourage students to vote early, so if there are issues with their eligibility, they will have time to fix it before it's too late.
We're working to learn if there will be any consequences for the people who threw this massive party that caused traffic headaches in Durham for hours. This was what it looked like from Sky 5, showing the huge crowd and the miles of backups. All of this centered around Merrick Moore Park on North Hoover Road. Durham police issued a warning saying the traffic conditions were dangerous on several roads surrounding the unpermitted party. We counted more than 24 Durham police vehicles working to disperse the crowd and control traffic. A local church had to cancel last night's services because the backups were so bad.
If you're on your way to church, turn around and go home. It's nothing that anyone can do, but for the sake of safety, if you're on your way, if you would, turn around and go back home.
That was the pastor of Fellowship Baptist Church. taking to social media to alert his congregation about traffic headaches. So far, no arrests or legal consequences have been announced for organizers of that unpermitted party.
A person is dead after being hit by a train near Butner. Granville County Sheriff's Office says it happened around 6 p.m. yesterday off West Lyon Station Road. First responders attempted to save that person's life, but that person died at the scene. Law enforcement is now investigating what happened. They have not released the person's name. This morning, Durham City Council will have a big work session with some items on today's agenda, including appointing people to advisory commissions, adopting grant ordinances for projects on affordable housing and mental health programs, and authorizing a sister city relationship with Kunshan, China. There will also be hearings for public comment on a few zoning and annexation decisions by the city. Anyone can listen in to this work session online starting at 1 p.m.
McDonald's restaurants are making changes after a deadly E. coli outbreak stemming from one of their menu items. When the restaurant first learned of the outbreak and the states affected by this. Michelle.
And a retired firefighter in Arizona is lending a helping hand to western North Carolina, what he is doing for departments in our state. And meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with another beautiful day.
Oh, it's going to be so pretty. We have a cold front that's going to be moving through. It'll drop our temperatures a little bit compared to what we saw yesterday, but still lovely in the mid 70s. And then we're going to go on a roller coaster ride for the weekend. And early next week, I'll show you the arrival of our next front coming up. It is 6:13. We're taking a live look at Franklinton this morning. All across our viewing area, our skies are clear and our temperatures are a little warmer than yesterday. Typically, ahead of a front, it's warmer. Behind a front, it's cooler. And that's what we're going to see today. We're ahead of the front right now. 61 in Southern Pine, 61 South Hill, 59 Goldsboro, which is noticeably warmer than this time yesterday. But our afternoon temperatures will be a little cooler than yesterday once that front moves through. But really, it's going to make for a very pleasant day today, starting in the 50s to near 60 this morning and then ending up in the mid 70s this afternoon with low humidity and lots of sunshine. So a Goldilocks day today for exercising or whatever you have planned. Now, things are going to be much more magnified over the weekend, warmer and noticeably cooler behind the next front.
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We're staying on top of that breaking news in the Hope Mills section of Cumberland County. One lane of I-95 remains closed because of a crash. This is around the Hope Mills section of Cumberland County. Take I-95 business as an alternate route. That'll work you back to I-95 this morning. We're also getting reports of a crash back here in Wake County in the eastbound lane of I-40 near Aviation Parkway. Right now, you can't see the crash on this particular live traffic cam, but we're keeping an eye on it and let you know if it's going to affect your morning commute heading out. Of course, Jeff, I'll have an update in about 10 minutes.
I know you've been keeping a close eye on that. This will get a lot of folks' attention. McDonald's has told all its restaurants to remove slivered onions from their supply as that E. coli outbreak has been linked now to the Quarter Pounder. A McDonald's spokesperson says the CDC notified McDonald's about the potential outbreak last week. One death is linked to the outbreak. Right now, 49 cases are known across 12 states. North Carolina is not one of those states.
As people in western North Carolina continue to recover from Helene, a retired firefighter in Phoenix, Arizona is lending a helping hand to those who need it. WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here now with his effort to bring supplies out west. Michelle.
Yeah, Renee, this is incredible. Franco Malenga is on a mission to help those who lost nearly everything. He's helping to collect extra firefighting supplies and trucks to drive over to North Carolina as well as Tennessee. Malenga partnered with a vodka company in Phoenix to raise money, and then him and a group of friends were able to find a few fire trucks to help deliver the much needed firefighting supplies. They've already sent over some items, and now Malenga is driving a truck over himself.
And we're trying to get more engines, more equipment. We have probably $500,000 worth of surplus fire equipment that we want to get into the hands of our firefighters over there. So that's our goal, is to raise some money to get this stuff all shipped over there and put into their hands.
And he also teamed up with the Give a Sip Foundation, which is sending over plenty of water. So far, they've already sent 270 gallons of water. Malenga is still gathering donations to help get even more supplies and trucks.
Yeah, the outpouring for people in the North Carolina mountains, not just from within our state, but out of state, incredible. Tickets are still available for Music for the Mountains, happening this Sunday at the Red Hat Amphitheater. WRAL is the proud media sponsor of the concert. It's happening this Sunday at 6 p.m. You can scan the QR code on your screen to get tickets.
As sea levels rise, communities along the North Carolina coast are having to take on some unprecedented challenges that threaten their homes, livelihoods, and way of life. Since 2020, 10 homes have fallen into the ocean in the Outer Banks, leaving debris littered along the shoreline. In Rodanthe, the erosion rate exceeds 15 feet per year. High tides are already flooding streets in some areas. Experts say sea level rise driven by climate change is accelerating the destruction. Michelle Duplessis came to Rodanthe for a peaceful vacation and was shocked to see waves beating against her rental home.
I mean, this will be our last time seeing this view. Over time it will be flooded, everything will be gone. It's quite sad.
It's heartbreaking for a lot of folks watching those waves crash against homes. WRAL climate change reporter Liz McLaughlin investigates how this dramatic coastal change will impact homeowners there, tourism, and the future of North Carolina's coastline. You can tune in tonight at 6 for that.
Our ever-changing coastline. 6:18 now. Let's get a check of our beautiful weather from meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's going to be another sunny day.
So pretty. We just had a long stretch of weather that's been gorgeous. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk a little bit more about just how dry this October has been. But check out Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all clear. I know it's dark outside right now, but when the sun comes up, it's going to be another pretty one like we've seen the last several days. Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. We have a cold front that's moving across the area right now. Typically ahead of a front, it's warmer, and behind a front, it's cooler. We don't typically have a dry front, but that's what this one is. So it's nice and mild this morning, mainly in the 50s and 60s. And then behind it, we'll see our highs in the mid 70s, which really is going to make for a perfect day. At the fair, 75 today, 76 on Friday. And then our next front approaches. Ahead of that front, looking at 81, and then much cooler on Sunday. We'll take a look at how much cooler coming up. There's also a tiny chance for some showers when this front passes on Saturday night. And then behind it, highs will only be in the 60s on Sunday and Monday. There's, again, just a tiny chance of rain with this Saturday night as it moves on through. You can see just those little flashes of green right there. I mean, a few sprinkles is probably all we'll see. And then high pressure builds in, and high pressure is going to push in some much cooler air. So we're going to see those highs in the 60s. But you look at our rainfall forecast, the next 7 days, we are dry, dry, dry. It looks like we'll take that all the way into early November. Our chances for dry conditions are high all the way through November the 2nd. So this will be the second, maybe the second driest October on record. The month's not over yet, but it's not definitely going to be the driest. In 2000, we had a big 0. We've only seen 1/100 of an inch this year, and then that ties with 1963. So incredibly dry. So far for the month, we are more than 2 inches behind, but for the fall overall, we're up 5.5 inches, and for the year, almost 11.5 inches. So a very dry October, but we're still on track for the second wettest year to date on record at RDU. Once we get past the chilly temperatures early in the week, we're going to see high pressure building in with a southwesterly flow. That's going to warm things up for Halloween. Halloween at 5 o'clock, 72, at 7 o'clock, 68. Now, we may adjust this a little bit because, of course, Halloween is still a week away, but it looks like we have a very good chance of continuing this really dry period. A few minutes ago, we talked about Music for the Mountains, still tickets available. Great lineup for this Old Crow Medicine Show, Chatham County line. It will be a cool day, but it will be a dry one. And then we warm up Wednesday to 78 degrees. And of course, it looks like we're going to continue that into Halloween, which I think will make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, we're hoping a lot of people will take advantage of that concert.
Yes.
Elizabeth, thanks. Lots going on here in the WRAL Traffic Center, not the least of which is this breaking news we've been following in the Hope Mill section of Cumberland County. I-95, at least one lane was closed for just a little while ago. We're being told by our crew in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker that this crash is in the clearing phase. But if you're still in a rush this morning, you can exit on Highway 59, get over to Business 95, and work your way back onto I-95 North, coming back north this morning. Back here in the Triangle, we're seeing a serious crash in the eastbound lanes of I-40 East near Aviation Parkway. You can't see the crash on this live traffic cam, but we are seeing a bit of a slowdown in those eastbound lanes right now. On another section of eastbound I-40, there's a crash near Rock Quarry Road this morning, and here's what we're seeing in those eastbound lanes, a little bit of a slowdown as you're heading east. If you're heading to Garner, maybe getting an early shot of the coast this morning, you're going to run into a little bit of a slowdown. Highway 70 might be an alternate route for you. So if you're getting ready to head out, listen to us on the radio. We'll keep you posted anywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Tonight, Durham school leaders will address some key issues in the district. We'll tell you about the updates we're expecting about staff pay and bus driver shortages.
And new information about a home robbery in Cary. Why authorities now think the crime could be related to an organized ring out of South America.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
John Wick may not have happened if it weren't for a certain Desperate Housewives star.
Ken Smith here now with What's Trending. Ken.
Yeah, Jeff and Renee, how about this? The movie's directors say the original action flick was about $6 million short before filming started. They say the movie's financial agency asked clients to invest. That's when Eva Longoria came in with the money. The directors didn't know she saved the film until much later.
Didn't know she saved $6 million to be able to throw around like that. But just in the nick of time, they were 24 hours away from having to shut the doors and walk away from that movie. And where would that whole series be if that happened? Wow.
She got a producer credit for putting up the money.
Good for her. Well, hey, Taylor Swift is trending, of course. New Orleans welcoming her in a big way. Check out this huge friendship bracelet at Caesars Superdome. The Eras Tour has 3 shows at the Superdome this weekend.
Now that is a statement, New Orleans. So for true Swifties, they don't need this explanation, but for those who aren't familiar, the friendship bracelet trend is a huge thing at her concerts. It's inspired by lyrics from one of her songs. And so fans trade friendship bracelets. They bring them, they wear them, you know, some from their wrist to their elbow. So I bet Taylor loved that.
It's a thing.
It is a welcome sign. Ken, thanks for that. Elizabeth.
It's going to be a little breezy today. We have a cold front that's moving through. It's bringing some warmer temperatures ahead of it, but then some chilly temperature, or some cooler temperatures, I should say, later on this afternoon with some breezy conditions. I'll show you the changes in store.
Boeing machinists are going on 6 weeks on strike after they rejected the company's latest contract offer. The major blow this could have on Boeing's finances as it is forced to halt production.
And we'll give you this live look right now, right at the State Fairgrounds. Quiet now, but it'll be a busy day because it is Hunger Relief Day. We'll tell you how your canned food donations will help people in the mountains.